G'day, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, I hope you're doing well and I hope you like the content that I've made. Today I've got a DMZ video, like some gameplay, and I just thought I'd talk about what's happening and just talk about the current state of the game being Warzone and Call of Duty in general. Before we get started though, if you could be a massive bunch of legends and like and subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get to see more content like this from DMZ and Warzone and other games as well, like Hell Let Loose and Battlefield. So you'd be helping me out massively, and I appreciate all the help I can get. Even if you can just drop a comment in the bottom, give me some feedback. YouTube's a hard place to get constructive criticism and feedback, so any little bit will help me greatly, and I appreciate it all. So thank you very much. So in the background there, you can see just picking the contracts here for DMZ. Now DMZ is a extraction style game mode, I guess. The object being that you go in with a certain amount of stuff that you've found. You then play, and anything you pick up along the way, you have to extract it to get it out. If you die in the process, you lose it all. You are allowed one slot to begin with to save a build for one weapon that you like, but if you die you lose that, and then there's a cooldown for it, and then every time you extract or complete missions you will reduce that cooldown timer, and that'll be there again the next time that you want to use it, once you've effectively put it down to zero. Now, if you forget to load in a gun when you go in, if you've died and then you don't equip a weapon, you'll just come in with fists. So the first thing you're going to have to do is try and find an NPC or loot and kill the NPC, take their gun, or go around them and loot a building and find a gun if you can. Look, I really like this game mode. I think it's really good. I used to play The Division a lot. I probably had over 1,000 hours on The Division 1 when it first came out. I couldn't get enough of it. I think it's an incredibly interesting game mode. The missions, the tasks that you've got to do, and then just that mix of PvE and PvP is really good. And it can be quite difficult in this game mode to distinguish between who is a player and who is just a bot. So you find yourself getting complacent, and there's been a couple of times where I've been done in and killed just because I wasn't being careful. I just assumed that the next building would just have NPCs in it, like the last building, and then lo and behold, there was a squad in there, and they killed me and took everything. So you constantly have to be aware of what's happening around you. Communication's still really key as a squad. I'm playing here today with two friends I've played games with for a very long time. We generally work pretty well together. I imagine that this game would be very hard to play in if you were just playing with randoms, given that there is a lot of communication required. And when you select a contract, if you've just got three different players with three different sets of contracts, you've kind of got to decide, whose contracts you're going to help out with. I'm not necessarily sure that if you don't have one equipped and somebody else completes it in your party, whether it will complete it for you. I think you need to have it all equipped at the same time, so all of the stuff that you do goes towards the contract, if that makes sense. This is definitely a game mode that you'll get the most out of if you play with friends. Now, I've been playing this a lot just because of the poor state of Warzone. For me, Warzone solos or duos is probably the pick of the bunch, and I've really liked the third person style Warzone. I think that's been a lot of fun. It's just a different way of playing. You can see different angles before you get around a corner, and it just seems to be a faster style of game as well. People are more willing to get in fights for some reason. At the moment, I think everybody's still just a little bit cautious in Warzone, still trying to figure it out, find the map and figure out which guns are meta and all that sort of jazz. But there's just so many bugs. My brother and I found out last night that if you are parachuting and you mark up like a supply drop, like a care package, to get your loadout drop, that's what I'm trying to say, a loadout drop. it will ping a random one on their screen, you know. So I pinged one, went, let's go for this one, went to it, and my brother went to a completely different one because that was the one that came up on his screen. So you've just got to be aware of that. So early in the piece, you might now have to just verbally confirm which supply loadout drop you're going to go to, just so you're both on the same sheet of music. Otherwise, it's just confusion absolutely everywhere. I've had issues too where I've gone to a loadout, gone to buy a weapon, clicked on the weapon that I want. So say I want the STB, I've clicked on the STB and it's given me, the Kastov 74U. You know what I mean? So the pictures are not lining up with what you want to get. And I was watching Westy's stream. He's a YouTuber. Check him out if you haven't. He's really good. Was watching his live stream where he was trying to get a sniper and it just kept giving him a Lockman sub. He was obviously getting very frustrated with it, and rightly so. You know, it just makes the game so much harder. Like it's Warzone's already a bit of a looting simulator and it's a bit of a grind. You know, and then you can't even get the stuff that you want, that you're working towards, and then, you know, you obviously don't do well because you're going in undercooked into big fights at the end game. So there's just something else to be aware. Have a plan, I guess. Keep looting, trying to find better weapons. Cash is king. So, you know, it's going to probably get to a point, unless they fix it, where everybody's going to be doing the strongholds. Because there's just not enough cash anywhere else in the game. Like, you can't just run around and get cash like you would in the old war zones. Like, it's very scarce. So, it is what it is. We just have to adapt until the developers decide to fix it, or they might even decide that this is the new direction for the game, and we just have to like it or lump it. So, whatever happens, happens, I guess. Now, back to DMZ, I think that this is a game mode that Call of Duty's needed for a long time. It is just like, it's so relaxed, but yet it still has its moments of intensity. Like when you have a contract and you get to the final part, because each contract might have like 3 or 4 things that you have to do, and say you get to the final part of a contract, which might be, you know, kill a certain HVT. And you activate that HVT and you go there, and then there's another squad waiting to do the same thing, you know, and then there's this real standoff, like, period of intensity where, you know, you're fighting over it, and then you want to get hits on the HVT to make sure that it counts and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's a lot of fun. If you haven't played it, please do check it out. It's far less buggy, I find, than Warzone. Warzone is just, like I was going on, I'm not going to go on about it forever. It's very frustrating, but yeah, Warzone is very buggy. It's not in a great shape at the moment. You know, even the camera shake when an airstrike goes over, like, it's crazy. You can be on the other side of a map 3k away, and you're screen shaking while you're trying to snipe someone because someone called an airstrike on the other side of the map. Like, it's just crazy. Anyway, DMZ, it's good. This is also a really good game mode for leveling up weapons. So you can see here I'm using the RPK. It's not a gun that I've traditionally used all that much. It's quite strong in PvE. I would recommend running LMGs. You need to run 2 setups. You need to have one gun for PvE and one gun for PvP. So I personally am running, you know, some form of LMG, or trying to, and then my secondary will be like a subby, something for close range, or the TAC 56, which I just cannot get enough of. In my personal opinion, I think that's the best AR in the game. For this, I should say, not in your normal Call of Duty, like your multiplayer maps or whatever. Obviously doesn't hold up as well. That's pretty much AK territory, but in this game mode, it's just really good. Even in Warzone, it's my go-to. You can get a 60 round mag on it. Suppress it. You can have it suppressed, so there's, you know, reductions in recoil and sound. Obviously, super easy to keep on target, and you've got 60 rounds, and it hits pretty hard. So I think it's a really good option. So yeah, plenty of XP in this game mode. You could just farm bots all day if you want to. Each round goes for 20 minutes or so. I don't know exactly. It's around 20 minutes. So you can, you know, just do 20 minutes of running around killing bots if you wanted to. And if you kill players, you get a lot of XP as well. Yeah, so good place to grab XP and level things up. You can see shield guy just comes in here and we all panic a bit. You know, this isn't it's not an easy game mode. It can be relaxed, but in these strongholds, like these NPCs are tough. Like they hit hard. So you need to work together as a squad and decide on what you're going to run. You know, some people need Semtex and you're going to need stuns, and some are going to need C4 and things like that, because there's various different types of enemies you're going to come up across. And then on top of that, you've got players lurking as well. Now, so the whole point basically is just to come in, do some contracts, loot, and then extract. So the extraction is the big thing. Now, when you pop an extraction, everybody can see that you are extracting, you know. So one of your tactics might be, you know what, this time when we come in, I just really want to, you know, I really just want to try and get some good loot. So rather than running around and farming, I might just sit in an extraction and wait for an enemy team to extract once they've got something good. You know, and I've already had that happen. You know, I've gone to an extraction, popped it, and then straight away been ambushed. So there's plenty of enemies and teams and stuff running that tactic currently. Now, also, there are weapons in this, I should say weapon blueprints in this game mode that you can only get here, as well as weapons, like I believe the M13, this is the only way you can get it, is by playing this game mode. And when you do find the blueprint, it alerts the entire map that you've got it. So everybody knows that you have it, and that you are probably going to try and extract with it. So do look at your map a lot. Keep an eye on your tac map. Look at what's going on. If you see somebody trying to get it out, it might be worth trying to go. Especially if you've only just started and you don't have a lot of loot, go and ambush them. Take it from them. They've done all the hard work, and you could reap all of the reward. Now, you find certain items as you're going through of varying value, you know, so you might find like a hard drive, an encrypted hard drive, say, in the police station that's worth $5,000, or a console, or a laptop, or aged wine, or there's watches. There's just random stuff, right? A lot of people haven't or don't know yet that you can go to a buy station and sell those for cash straight away. So you don't necessarily need to extract that stuff. That stuff there is, I guess, the way I see it, is just to generate a bit of in-game currency while you're playing to get you to buy stuff. So, you know, you want a large backpack, you want a 3-plate plate carrier. The 3-plate stops you from getting one-shotted with a sniper, and the large backpack lets you carry a lot of stuff, which is obviously the whole point of this game mode, is to, you know, loot and extract. So the more stuff you can loot and extract, the better you are going to be at the game. You just need to keep in mind too, though, that if you die, you lose that 3-plate, you lose that backpack. So, you know, it might be worth, you know, if you do find one and you've already got one, chucking it in the pack and trying to extract it as well so you can have spares. But yeah, sell the stuff when you can. Buy stuff that you need, basically. Buy the 3-plate. You can also buy contraband guns. So contraband guns are basically just guns from this game mode. You cannot modify them in any way, but you need a stash of them because, like I mentioned earlier in the video, when you die, or if you die, you lose that custom slot that you have. So if you don't have any spare contraband guns in your inventory, then you need to spawn in basically with just fists. So you're going to be behind the 8 ball, especially because I've spawned in this game and then bumped into a squad straight away that were trying to extract near where we spawned in. So there's no guarantee that when you spawn in, that you're safe, that the area is safe. You know, there's people everywhere lurking and roaming. So you need to be on the ball literally right away. So coming in with fists is a big disadvantage. So if you find an interesting gun, grab it, chuck it in the pack, get it out, you know. There's been a couple of times where we've come in, done one mission and found something really good. Like I found a couple of contraband guns I just thought would be really useful in the future, so I just extracted them straight away. I didn't want to bother, you know, playing for another 15 minutes, getting hit by a squad, losing it and having to start again. So sometimes if you feel like you're ahead, just extract. Like, you'll be back in another game in like 4 or 5 minutes max, you know what I mean? So yeah, if you feel like you're ahead, just get out. I'll talk more about contracts in a little bit. There'll be some footage of the contract menu, so we'll go through that and talk about it when it comes up. Now, so here we've marked up a stronghold or an extraction. So, these are your fuel stations. So, when you're driving around, vehicles have limited fuel and limited health. So you can just pull in, and as you can see, we're repairing the vehicle, refueling, and then we are good to go again. Vehicles are actually really strong, so you can just run people over, hit them. The little tactic we've been employing is when we drive to an extraction like this, is one person will jump out and pop the extraction. The other two will just keep driving around and trying to clean up NPCs with the vehicle, because the NPCs will actually try and ambush you while you are trying to extract. So as you can see here, drop off one, and then we just keep burning around. So knocking that dude over, go back up the hill, try and run some more over. One person's called in the extraction, keeping in mind too that, you know, all the players, real players on the map, can see that we're trying to extract right now. And I have a feeling that because this is early days in this game mode, people aren't being that aggressive yet. But I think once people find their feet, this is going to be an extremely aggressive game mode. Like, if to refer to the Division again, that was brutal when people started getting the hang of it. You know, you could not roll around the dark zone without people just rolling you for everything you were worth, and to get out was extremely hard. So I have a feeling that this game is going to become like that at some point. It'll just get savage. So get into it now. Start knocking over some of them harder contracts early in the piece while people are still trying to find their feet, and you'll be much better off. So here you can see countdown timer, and we are out of here. So you have to make the bird in that time. You're still vulnerable while you're in the helicopter. I believe you can be shot at. I'm not sure whether people can jump in with you and you can fight in the back of the bird. That would be cool, but I haven't seen it happen yet. If I ever find myself in a situation where I see a team trying to get out, then I will probably try and jump in there just so I can get footage of it and see how it goes. Okay, so now, as you can see, gives you a bit of a debrief here when you successfully extract of what you completed and what you did. It then does an XP total here. So you can see there it says 0 hours, 11 minutes, 51 seconds reduced on insured weapon time. So that's the cooldown for your insured weapon. So that one weapon slot that you can just take whatever weapon you want, set up any way you want. That's the cooldown for it there. So it lets you know how you're going. So now this is the contract menu. So as you can see here, I'm on the Legion skill tree, I should say. There's 3. You've got Legion, White Lotus, and Black Mouse. I think that's Mouse. I hope it's not Black Moose. Legion, I'm on tier 2, so I've gone through tier 1. Now I'm on tier 2. When you've completed a contract, so you can see that there's ticks there of things that you got to do, you then have to deselect them. It's kind of frustrating. It doesn't automatically deselect them, so it just bogs the game down a little bit, and then you have to explain it to people all the time, and you feel like you're just going round and round in circles. So when you go through the contracts, deselect it, then select the ones that you want. And like I said earlier in the piece, you want all 3 players doing the same contracts if you can. It just makes things easier. It makes it faster getting through them. So that's basically the contract system. They get harder and harder. The XP gets better. The rewards get better. As you can see, the reward there for that one is an SPR, contraband gun. There's a blueprint there. There was pendulum for one of the guns. So, you know, you can unlock quite a lot of stuff in here. There was a reward there for a key. Throughout the map, you pick up these keys, and they allow access into special rooms. Some of the missions actually require you to do it. The key elimination mission there on the tier 2 Legion tree requires you to open a locked room using a key that you found, basically. So, you know, if you find those keys, it's worth putting them in your backpack. Just remembering, obviously, that they take up a slot. So you might find yourself full of keys and, you know, not able to get some stuff. So you're going to make some hard decisions whether you drop good loot, drop a good weapon, or keep keys, or, whatever. You'll figure it out as you go along. So that is, I really like this contract system. It makes you play the game the way that they want the game to be played, which I think is a good thing. It encourages you to run around. You can't just find like one good contract thing on the map that you enjoy doing and then just farm that over and over. You do a wide variety of things. There's like random events as well. There's areas that you can go and explore. There's like a radiation area where you have to constantly be wearing a gas mask. So you've got to keep picking gas masks up and all that sort of stuff. So it just makes the game really interesting. And when these things randomly spawn, everybody can see them as well. You got to remember that. So if you trigger something, people know where you are and then they can come and roll you. Or alternatively, if it's something great, you can work together as a team to, take down whatever it is, and then go back to fighting. I haven't really encountered any of that yet. There is proximity chat in this game mode as well. So, but it wouldn't be hard to organise, I wouldn't mind trying to get in with a group of mates that are in another group of 3 or something. If you could try and tee that up, like just keep joining games until you all get the same one. It would be hard to do, but if you could do it, it'd be a lot of fun. I think you could just roll around. We used to do that in the Division quite a bit. Just roll around in 2 or 3 groups larger and just have our way with people. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I'm sure the people that we were rolling didn't enjoy it all that much, but, whatever. This is my gaming experience and I'll do it the way I want, I guess. Yeah, you can see there one of the teammates just got down because the NPCs are no joke. They really do hit hard. They're shotgunners that will rush you. They will flash. They will stun. There's trip mines. These activate UAV things are good. You find them on the ground and it'll basically, if you look on the map there, it reveals the position of all the NPCs and stuff around. So it can be quite handy because they move like around and they can sneak up on you and you might not see them coming, so it is quite a handy thing to do. I run out of ammo here, just have to beat this dude to death, which unpleasant, but I had to get it done. There is the game overall has been really good in DMZ, but there's been a couple of bugs with some of the missions, like not counting for people, and if that is the case, just you all have to vote to quit the contract and then just restart it. I've found that's the best way to get through that glitch. And if you do that, then you can restart the mission and hopefully then it works and triggers and all that sort of stuff. But it's only happened 1 or 2 times out of maybe I've probably got maybe 10-15 hours, not a lot of time, but on this game mode. But it's probably only happened once or twice in that time frame. Now you can see here at the buy station, there's some stuff that you can buy. So here I am just selling some of the stuff that I've got to get some cash. You get cash pretty easy this way. I had to do it for one of the missions, a big spender mission there in the Legion tree. And then I can go through and buy whatever I want. Didn't have quite enough there for a 3-plate vest. There's an LTV there with a turret, which I need to do for one of the missions coming up. But yeah, don't forget to sell your stuff is basically the point of that. Look, guys, I might leave it there for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you find it or found it informative for this game mode. I really want more people to play this. I think it's going to add to the longevity of Warzone. I think it's really, really fun. That might just be my play style. I generally love RPG games and like I said before, The Division. If you haven't played The Division and you like the DMZ game mode, go check that out. It's kind of a soft extraction shooter, I guess. If you compared it to Tarkov, it's nowhere near as hardcore as that. It's just a lot of fun. You can get in, play with some mates. There is a risk versus reward element. You do have to make decisions. You can lose out quite a lot if you make the wrong decision, but it never feels crippling. It never feels like, what's the point? I think it's a good balance. I'm enjoying it so far. I hope they keep supporting it. I hope it just keeps running into the future where they have like live events or something like that. I'd love to see it. So this is where I'll be. I'll be in DMZ. Warzone for me at the moment, it's just not scratching the itch. I do like the third person. I've had a lot of fun playing that mode in Warzone, but I just don't think they've got some work to do in it. I think it's just the performance and the gameplay is just not great at the moment. It's not the map. The map is amazing. I don't have a single bad thing to say about that map. The detail, the scale, the size of it, everything is beautiful. You know, you can walk into any random room in the entire map and there's detail on the wall, and I think that's, you know, is pretty cool. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. You'd be helping me out massively. You know, I'm new to this whole gaming streaming thing. This is a bit of a journey for me, and I'm learning along the way. And I'd like to keep doing it. So with your support, you guys could make that happen. So I'd appreciate it greatly. There's 2 players there just getting the business end of an AK. So that's a good place to leave it, I think. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on my next one. Cheers.